Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. On the 27th of September every year, the world celebrates World Tourism Day, a day created by the United Nations to cultivate and create awareness among the society globally on the significance of tourism and its social, political, financial, and also cultural worth and value. Joining us now to speak about this and Nigeria's tourism industry, as well as Nigeria Travel Week, is Efetobo Awhana, CEO of Avant Tours Limited and convener, Nigeria Travel Week. Welcome to the show. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So let's start off by talking about Nigeria Travel Week. When is that and what does that entail?
Okay, Nigeria Travel Week holds from 17th to 23rd of November.
Okay.
And the project is to basically promote tourism in Nigeria and Africa. So we're saying that we have so much potential to make tourism a huge revenue earner for us. We've been depending on oil for so long. I mean, and the rest of the world has gotten the memo and moved beyond oil. I mean, just yesterday, Saudi Arabia announced tourist visas, and that's to show that they're trying to stop the reliance on oil. So we're saying, look, this is a source, this is a huge potential for us, very low-hanging fruit for us to start to earn a lot from tourism. So that's the idea.
Saudi Arabia does not have the challenges that we have. We have massive insecurity. So how does that affect tourism?
Yes, so there's no country in the world today that is perfect. And trust me, just yesterday, I Googled for someone, I did a short search, and the top 50 most dangerous cities in the world, no Nigerian city was on that list. So you can do that search. So the stuff is, are we really telling our narratives right? Yes, we have our problems. Every other country in the world has their problems. And with tourism, it's not about whether you have a problem or not. It's about putting your best foot forward. So it's like every business, you showcase what it is that you have. And now we're talking about security. Ask me, do Nigerians stay at home because there's fear of insecurity? We still go out on a daily. When last did you hear of any incidents in Lagos? Trust me, when you look at these things and you totally look at them from bias, without that mindset, that narrative that we've been made to believe, you see that we're a lot more secure than we really think. So it's our business to try and push our own positive narratives. It's the business of government and the security agencies to try and sort our security issues. But then it's a vicious circle as well. So if we leave tourism and then we keep focusing on our issues with security, then we get more insecure. Because you know why? Tourism is the biggest job creator in the world. So last year, WTC said out of 10 new jobs, tourism created 3. So we're looking at, and of course, that's the theme for World Tourism Day for this year. Tourism and jobs, a better future for all. So tourism creates jobs. When you look at the multiplier effect of tourism, you see that there's no reason why the people staying in the catchment areas around our tourism attractions should be poor. And if they are gainfully employed, they have jobs in the tourism sector, tell me why they would choose to go into crime when they can make a honest living.
So tell us, I mean, You've spoken so well about the opportunities. Tell us why we have not been able to develop our local tourism industry.
Well, I think a number of factors. I am ashamed to say that we have been lazy. And when I say we, I'm taking responsibility as one, a practitioner, so myself and my colleagues in the tourism industry, and then government. So because tourism is mostly private sector driven, so we have to be able to come together and put these things together. So one area that we have failed is that we have failed to create products that people can easily buy. For example, when you think of Dubai, you hear of a desert safari, and you know what it is. You go online and you can book it. You have South Africa, for example, you know what a Table Mountain tour is, or a city tour. You know what these things will be, a Cape Point tour. So these are products that we need to start. So we need to start to put these things together and then get them out in the face of people. So what we have now is a growing number of young people who are coming into that space and doing a lot with social media, and these guys are really incredible. And I think that's where we need to go. what we just need to do is to get these guys together and say, look, this is how it should be done, so that there are standards, and then we can meet, so what the rest of the world.
So part of what I hear you saying but not saying is also investment,
Basically.
which sort of addresses the issues you brought up, which is that we have all these issues that Saudi Arabia doesn't have. Some of them is infrastructure. I mean, security is just one of them, is infrastructure. If you're coming to visit Lagos, and by the time you get from mainland to your hotel room on the island, you've spent 3 hours. I mean, this week alone, there were days that it took 3 hours to get from the mainland to the island. These things they hinder the progress of tourism. How do you engage? How does your industry engage? And how is Travel Week going to create a place where these conversations can happen?
So, with tourism, the interesting thing is that you can make experiences out of anything. So you also have, as much as you have the good side, you have what we call dark tourism. So there are people who will travel to see just what you think is really, really ticking you off. So, for example, there's a city in Europe where you go and see basically their civil war, what is left over from their civil war. So the houses that are there are all ridden with bullets, and then they show you, look, see that house? 10 people died in that building, and this and that. So for everything, you can make something out of it.
That's how you spin it.
So it is how you spin it. So our traffic, for example, now we have one of the most beautiful traffics in this world, where you can practically do all your grocery shopping. You can make food. You can buy mats. You can buy. In fact, I'm sure you can buy cars these days in traffic. You can make anything out of it. And every other major city in the world also has these same traffic issues. Yes. So we can basically do whatever we want to do.
I'd rather sit in Lagos traffic than LA traffic, quite frankly. That's so boring. That's a very good point there. But what do you think of the federal government saying that they're trying to train youths and women to boost the tourist industry? I want to ask you that. And also, on the topic of products, which you mentioned earlier, a lot of travel agencies and what have you have a package for Dubai, including visas, hotels, transport, and other things like that. We don't have that much with regards to staycations, to destinations around Nigeria.
Well, it's growing, and I'm happy, and I can say that we have contributed a bit in that regard. From 2017, when Nigeria Travel Week started, we've seen that there's this growth. So when you go on social media today, Instagram, for example, you see a lot of young people who are doing these things now. So you can get products easily. October 1st, there is this tour to Badagry, and this is like a collation of different tour operators, about 40 different tour operators coming together to put that package to Badagry, just so we can create awareness about opportunities in tourism. So these products are beginning to come up. We're not there yet, but we're taking very good steps forward.
What's stopping you? What are the impediments to getting there?
Well, tourism is very capital intensive, so we're not. Because we don't have the same kind of opportunities and facilities like the rest of the world does, we're not getting there as fast as we can. For example, the Bank of Industry does not think that tourism is, a job, creator, and so it is not one of their, sectors that they focus on. So we need either a tourism bank or a tourism development fund that provides access to capital for those who want to go into these things. Let me cite an example. Sometime ago, I was in Cape Town in South Africa, and we stopped by to have lunch. And I told the lady sitting next to me, look, to count all of the buses that were there, just in front of the restaurant, about 15 luxurious buses. So these are 60-seater buses just outside one restaurant along that route. So I said to her, look, count how many people will patronize this restaurant just because this is a tourist route. And so imagine how much. Now ask ourselves how many tour operators in Nigeria have the funds to be able to purchase those kind of buses, and because just that's one of the major things that you need as a tour operator. You need to be able to take people around, and then you need to be able to basically do all of the fact-checking, check that you inspect the hotels regularly, check that you train your tour managers, you are in touch with your tour guides in the different localities, and then that the local attractions themselves are well put together.
I think, I mean, some of the challenges that you're talking about actually come back to how the tourism industry and the government are working together and liaising together. Another one of the issues one of the things the government has been working on is ease of doing business. A big part of ease of doing business is also getting visas. Very difficult to get Nigerian visas from different places, which also can be part of your industry. So for me, I'm hoping that how is Travel Week bringing in these different governments, the BOI, all these different touch points to say, hey, if we're going to develop and create jobs, forget that it's called tourism. These are some of the things that the government needs to do. Are those type of, how are you and how does your industry and those departments liaise?
Well, interestingly, we're presently liaising with, we're presently interacting with the Ministry of Interior, and we're trying to see how we can get that announcement for a Nigerian tourist visa. I must say that ease of doing business has been very, very positive for us. You know, now you can get visa on arrival, even though it is just for business. You know, so but we have used it in the past.
Too?
Yes, in 2017, all our international visitors who came to Nigeria for Nigeria Travel Week, we got them visa on arrival. Okay. You know, so yeah, so that works. That has been helping. But it's a different thing when you announce a tourist visa. It sends a very strong message. It tells you, look, we're ready for tourism and you're welcome. There's this funny story that went around some time ago of a South African that was denied a Nigerian visa. Because the visa consular, she applied for a tourist visa, and the visa consular said, you can't be coming to Nigeria for tourism. And I was shocked, like,
but we're
really?
running out of time. I want to ask you, because I don't want to call it tourism, pilgrimage, because it's a serious business, it's travel. How can Nigeria become a travel destination? Because we have scores of Americans going to Ocean and what have you. How can we really maximize on that potential? Sorry, in 10 seconds.
Yes, so all that we need to do is start creating products around all of this. We're already doing a lot about religious tourism, a lot of everyday hundreds of people coming to Lagos for the different church events. So if you check those flights, we're doing a lot. What we need to do is to basically make sure that they have options to extend their stay beyond just coming for those events, so that they can stay. So, and that's the same thing with business visitors who come in for business. They can add 1-2 more nights and then, you know, enjoy Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Mr. Awhana. Thank you.